Hey everyone, Jessica Torres here. So, I need to tell you about something that's been keeping me up at night. In exactly 6 months, an inmate who's obsessed with me is getting released. And I'm genuinely scared. I know that sounds dramatic. Trust me, I wish it was. But when someone sends you 47 letters in 3 months, memoize your schedule down to the minute, and puts another guard in the hospital because she talked to you, that's not just a crush. That's dangerous. And the worst part, I didn't see it coming until it was too late. Let me back up. This story starts about a year ago, and honestly, it started so innocently that I feel stupid for missing all the signs. But that's how these things work, right? They creep up on you slowly until one day you realize you're in way over your head. Her name is Jade Martinez, 26 years old, serving 4 years for aggravated assault and drug possession. She'd been at Riverside for about 8 months when I first really noticed her. And I know how that sounds, but when you're supervising 120 inmates, they kind of blur together unless something makes them stand out. Jade made herself stand out. It started small. She'd always choose the table closest to wherever I was standing during meals. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then I realized she was doing it every single time. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Didn't matter where I positioned myself. Within 2 minutes, Jade would be at the nearest table, facing me. Still, that's not unusual. Some inmates are naturally social, always trying to chat with guards. I figured Jade was just one of those people. Friendly, maybe a little lonely. I tried to be kind. That was my first mistake. One day during rec time, Jade approached me. Big smile, very polite. "Officer Torres, can I ask you something personal?" I should have shut it down right there. Should have said no. But she seemed harmless, and I was having a good day. So I said, "Depends on the question." "Are you married?" Red flag. Huge red flag. But I was dumb and answered honestly, "Yes, I am." Oh. Her face fell for just a second. Then the smile came back, bigger. "He's a lucky guy. You're like, really beautiful. And you're always so nice to everyone. Not like the other guards." It made me uncomfortable, but I brushed it off with a professional "thank you. That's kind," and walked away. Thought that was the end of it. It was not the end of it. The next week, I started finding notes in weird places. Slipped under my office door. Tucked into the clipboard I carried. One time, folded inside my locker. The lock hadn't been broken. Someone had the combination or knew how to pick it. The notes were always signed J and said things like, "You look tired today. I hope you're taking care of yourself. That blue shirt is my favorite on you. I saw you smile at that other guard. Why don't you smile at me like that?" That last one made my skin crawl. I reported it to my supervisor, Captain Reynolds. He took it seriously, pulled Jade's file, but there wasn't much he could do without proof. The handwriting wasn't distinctive enough to match definitively, and Jade denied everything. "Officer Torres," she said when Reynolds questioned her, looking genuinely hurt, "I would never do something like that. I respect you too much." Reynolds warned her anyway, told her to keep her distance from me, and for about 2 weeks, things got quiet. Then they got so much worse. I came in for my shift one morning and found my locker absolutely covered in photos. Pictures of me that had been cut out of the staff bulletin board, printed from the prison website. Even a few that looked like they'd been drawn from memory. All of them had hearts drawn around my face in red marker. This time, there was no denying who did it. Jade's cellmate, a woman named Tasha, came forward. Said Jade had been working on the drawings for weeks, talking constantly about me, saying things like, "Officer Torres understands me and we have a real connection." Jade was written up, lost privileges, got moved to a different cell block temporarily. I thought maybe the separation would help. Maybe she'd fixate on someone else. Maybe this would just stop. Instead, she got creative. See, Jade couldn't get to me directly anymore. She was in B block, I was assigned to C block. But she started sending messages through other inmates. Girls who had friends in C block would pass along notes. "Jay says hi. Jay wants you to know she's thinking about you." Jay asked me to give you this. It was psychological warfare, and it was working. I started dreading going to work, started checking over my shoulder constantly. My husband Marcus noticed, asked me what was wrong. I told him about Jade. His response, "Babe, you work in a prison. Weird stuff happens. Don't let some obsessed inmate get in your head." Easy for him to say. He wasn't the one being stalked. 3 months ago, everything came to a head. There's this guard, Officer Sarah Chen. She's been at Riverside longer than me, super professional, really good at her job. We're friendly. We talk during breaks sometimes. Nothing inappropriate, just coworker stuff. Jade saw us laughing together one day. I didn't think anything of it. Sarah had told a funny story about her cat. We were in the staff break room, away from inmates. It should have been fine. 2 days later, Sarah was escorting inmates back from the yard. Jade was in that group. Somehow, Jade got hold of a sharpened piece of metal, probably a shank someone had hidden. Security should have caught it during the pat-down. They didn't. Jade walked right up behind Sarah and stabbed her in the shoulder. Sarah survived. Thank God. The wound wasn't deep, and medical got to her fast. But Jade didn't even try to run. Just stood there with the weapon, looking directly at the security camera, and said she was getting too close to Officer Torres. That's not allowed. They dragged her to solitary, added 2 more years to her sentence. Sarah took 3 weeks off and came back different. Quieter, jumpy. She transferred to the men's facility 2 months later. Said she couldn't be in the same building as Jade anymore. I understood completely. After the attack, I finally got a restraining order approved. It's a weird thing, getting a restraining order against someone who's already in prison. But it meant Jade couldn't be in the same areas as me. She stayed in B block. I stayed in C block. We had different meal times, different rec times, different everything. For 4 months, I haven't seen her face. But the letters never stopped. See, inmates can send mail. It's a constitutional right, and there's no law that says they can't send mail to staff members, as long as it's going through proper channels and isn't threatening. Jade's letters are never technically threatening. They are just disturbing. Dear Officer Torres, I know you got me moved away from you, but I understand. You were scared of how strong our connection is. I forgive you. Dear Officer Torres, I've been counting the days. 237 more until I'm free. Then we can finally be together properly. Dear Officer Torres, I know you're married, but that's just temporary. He doesn't see you the way I do. He doesn't appreciate you. Dear Officer Torres, I've been imagining what I'll wear the day I get out. What's your favorite color? I want to look perfect for you. I reported every single letter. Built a file 2 inches thick. My lawyer says it's good documentation for when she gets out, that we can use it to get a civilian restraining order that actually has teeth. But here's the thing. In 6 months, Jade walks out of Riverside a free woman. And I have no idea what she's going to do. My captain has been great about it. He's already submitted paperwork to have me transferred to a different facility before Jade's release date. But transfers take time. There's bureaucracy, background checks, training periods. It might not go through in time. Marcus keeps telling me I'm overreacting. She'll move on, he says. Once she's out and has her freedom back, she'll forget all about you. You're just a fixation because you're there every day. Out of sight, out of mind. I want to believe him. I really do. But I've seen Jade's eyes. I've read 4 to 7 letters that get progressively more detailed about the life we'll have together. I watched her put a colleague in the hospital without hesitation. This isn't just going to go away. 2 weeks ago, I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I visited Jade's mother, Carmen Martinez. She lives about 40 minutes from the prison in a small apartment. I wanted to know what kind of home situation Jade would be going back to, whether there was family support, mental health resources, anything that might help. Carmen answered the door looking exhausted. Your Officer Torres. I was surprised. How did you? She talks about you every time I visit. Shows me pictures she's drawn. tells me about her plans when she gets out. Carmen shook her head. I've tried talking to her, told her you're married, that she needs to let it go. She doesn't listen, just gets angry and says I don't understand. Does Jade have a history of this? I asked. Obsessive behavior. Carmen hesitated, then nodded. In high school, there was a teacher, Miss Rodriguez. Jade became fixated on her, started showing up at her house, following her car. Miss Rodriguez had to get a restraining order. Then Jade moved on to a girl in her college class. Same thing. It's like once Jade decides she loves someone, she can't let it go. My stomach dropped. What happened with the college girl? Carmen's face went pale. That's why Jade's in prison. The girl, Ashley, tried to cut off contact. Jade didn't take it well. Showed up at Ashley's apartment with a baseball bat. Attacked Ashley's new girlfriend. That's the aggravated assault charge. I felt sick. This wasn't just an obsession. This was a pattern. And I was the latest target. What do I do? I asked Carmen, how do I make her stop? Carmen looked at me with so much sadness. Honey, I've been asking myself that question for 8 years. I don't have an answer. All I can tell you is when Jade gets out, you need to be very, very careful. Because in her mind, you two have a relationship. And if you reject that relationship, she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to. I left Carmen's apartment and sat in my car for 20 minutes, just shaking. This was real. This was happening. In 6 months, someone who'd already proven she'd hurt people who got between us would be free to find me. I've started taking different routes to Wyke, changed my phone number, made my social media accounts private. Marcus finally started taking it seriously after I told him about Carmen. He wants me to quit, find a different job. But I've worked so hard to get here. This is my career. Why should I be the one who has to leave? Last week, I got another letter from Jade. This one was different. Dear Officer Torres, I know you're scared. I can feel it, but you don't need to be. I would never hurt you. You're special. You're mine. I've been working on myself in here, going to therapy, taking my medications, learning to control my impulses. When I get out, I'm going to prove to you that I've changed, that I'm worthy of you. 6 months isn't that long. We've waited this long. We can wait a little longer. All my love, forever yours, Jade. The therapy part should be reassuring. It's not, because the rest of the letter makes it clear that she still believes we're going to be together. The therapy isn't helping her let go. It's just teaching her how to hide it better. I'm scared, you guys. I'm genuinely scared. And I don't know what to do about it. The prison psychologist says Jade shows signs of erotomania, a delusional disorder where someone believes another person is in love with them. It's rare, but when it happens, it can be dangerous. The delusion is so strong that no amount of rejection changes it. Every no is interpreted as not yet, or she's just scared of her feelings. So here I am, 6 months away from having my stalker released into the world. I've got a restraining order that's just a piece of paper. I've got a transfer request that might not go through. I've got a husband who's trying to be supportive but doesn't fully understand the danger. And I've got 4 to 7 letters that prove this woman isn't going to just forget about me. What would you do? Seriously, I'm asking. Would you quit your job? Would you move to a different state? Would you arm yourself and hope for the best? Would you try to talk to Jade one more time? Try to break through the delusion? Because I've considered all of those options, and none of them feel right. None of them feel safe. The thing that keeps me up at night isn't even the fear of violence. It's the unpredictability. I don't know what Jade will do when she gets out. Will she show up at my house? At my work? Will she follow me to the grocery store? Will she try to talk to me? Or will she just watch from a distance? And here's the most terrifying part. Some part of me wonders if this is my fault. If I'd been colder from the start, if I'd shut down that first conversation, if I'd never smiled or shown any kindness, would this have happened? Did I accidentally encourage her without meaning to? My therapist says that's not how it works. that Jade's obsession would have found a target regardless of what I did. That being kind isn't the same as leading someone on. But it's hard not to second-guess every interaction, every word, every moment. I think about Sarah Chen sometimes. She transferred facilities because of what Jade did to her, because Jade perceived her as a threat. And Sarah wasn't even close to me. We were just friendly colleagues. If Jade was willing to stab someone over casual workplace conversation, what would she do to someone she actually saw as competition? What would she do if she found out I was happily married and had no interest in her whatsoever? The answer to that question is what terrifies me. So yeah, 6 months. That's all I've got. 6 months to figure out how to protect myself from someone who's convinced we're soulmates. 6 months before Jade Martinez walks out of Riverside Correctional Facility and into my life. And I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen when she does. If you've ever dealt with a stalker, if you've ever had someone become obsessed with you, leave a comment. Tell me what you did. Tell me how you stayed safe. Because right now, I'm running out of options and running out of time. This is Jessica Torres, and I really hope I'm overreacting about all of this. But something tells me I'm not.